чернила окича, то щезнове, то тирающиеся, и богинское броду склоня, в побух, да, в побух.
Battle for Earth begins.
Anything else that might get in the way of our ideal must be destroyed immediately.
The ultimate enemy has arrived. Their single purpose: destroy our world.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Those who oppose them, die.
If this mission fails, if we are unsuccessful, we have no future.
We've had enough! Isn't it about time that people realize the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves?
What this is war.
Now, these pirates will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history. If they can stay alive,
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll gladly even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted. Of course not.
Just like it is with the stars, there are bright ones and there are those that are dim.
both sides prepare for the final battle. Suit up.
Nothing good can ever come from staying with normal people.
Be very careful.
Mankind has reached the stars.
There has to be some form of punishment.
Love the women that make plastic. Those are the ones that love me.
Time out! Get set! Go back!
But I'm surging with women. Hillary Clinton's a bigot. He would not be my first choice, that I can tell you.
You think you'll be in jail?
Would I approve waterboarding? You bet your ass I would.
And I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding.
Storm the mountain.
This is rigged!
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I guarantee you there's no problem.
I think we should take a drug test prior to the I never heard that one before.
Technological strength will just become a threat to the Earth.
This new breed of technology makes humanity obsolete. Robots, thinking, acting on their own, begin their march toward domination. Built by man, serve no one. The robots among us, watching, waiting, calculate their new world order. Their time is coming. They cannot be stopped.
Attention, strange weapons are approaching. Attention, strange weapons are approaching.
With perfect weapons and superior intelligence, robots rule this planet. Let the fall of mankind give way to a new age.
This is what my father can do anyway.
Century 0079. A one-year war rages on. Space droids against Earth dwellers.
I'm gonna try to see on forces right off here.
Zeke against Faye.
Not bad for a Betty, but I bet you're not ready for this!
As both sides prepare for the final battle.
Run for it!
The secret love of two enemies may be mankind's only hope for peace.
They're no better than they are.
stand firm and face your destiny without fear, but with courage. What awaits him down the path, he will then have to choose.
No one's gonna give you a map. You've gotta walk your own path.
Children leave their homes in search of this quest.
What is thy desire?
As they search, they are always asking questions. What's out there? What's waiting for?
Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for?
Are you gonna go into space with your old man or not? Maybe I'll never get over this. I've lived my life following my dreams, and I don't have any regrets.
You're gonna just keep running away?
Just keep running away? I'm not running.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Believe in yourself and create your own destiny. Don't fear fate.
I've been doing this more than you.
We're about to be in the best timeline. Mark my words.
It's I love you, but it's still up. It's I love you, but it's still up. It's I love you, but it's still up. Go and get y'all some motherfucking business while we go get free. Cause I'm Moses out here.
Excuse me, Rob. You're excused. And I'm not your bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Controlled Substance. I'm your host, Orphan. Oh, what a great day. What a great day. I hope you guys are having a great day as well. Today, we're going to be talking about the one, the only, Marjorie Gorilla Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene went into Congress today to talk about Biden in his IRS investigation. She ended up just showing everyone pictures of him banging prostitutes. And I can't figure out if this is cool or if this is not cool. My initial reaction before actually watching, and we're going to watch the whole clip today. My initial reaction before watching is this is just another shock jock tactic from Marjorie Taylor Greene to come in, make headlines, rail, yell into the void about Hunter Biden, about how he's the worst, about how Biden crime family. It's like, bitch, everyone knows. My wife says, when I clicked your face, the first thing I heard was banging prostitutes. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. And I hope the prostitute's not his niece or whatever. Because he did that too. I think anyone who's paying attention right now knows that Hunter Biden is a scumbag in the sense, any normal person would think he's a scumbag. But he's also awesome because he's out there living his best life, you know? He's out there doing things that nobody else would do. He has balls. I'll give that to him. And hopefully we don't get to see any of those balls today. Apparently there is some censorship, and I hate that I have to show you this. I suppose I don't have to. I could probably put like a black box in front of it or something, but I think it's relatively censored. I wish that people would... Okay, so what do you think about this? My timeline is full of gay porn. My timeline is almost entirely gay porn. Why is this? Well, it's not because I'm some sort of gay porn enjoyer. It's because Republicans love to post pictures about gay people banging each other in the street. They love to post pictures of Hunter Biden and prostitutes. Like, pointing out the hypocrisy and posting porn on my timeline is apparently the exact same thing. But here's the thing. Like, doesn't everyone know that this is going on? Like, what is it changing? Because this has been the way it is for years. Pointing out hypocrisy, showing gross gay people on the timeline, and, like, it's not doing anything. So we got to either figure out something else to do or just stop. Everyone kind of knows. But I don't know. I mean, I thought everyone knew the transportation department ran our government, and I guess they don't. So maybe you do need to be calling out these uncomfortable truths. I just think that today's political climate is so polarized that I don't know what type of person is looking at one of these pictures or looking at Hunter Biden and a prostitute and being like, oh, whoa, what the? I didn't even know that. Oh, what the? No way. He's doing what? It's like everyone knows. So, what's going on? Meanwhile, I think it was Congress just passed like a overwhelming like anti-BDS law, something like that. I don't know. I don't have all the data or all the details in front of me. But anyways, the overview here is it necessary? The big question, is it necessary to show Hunter Biden naked banging a prostitute in Congress? Because I don't think it probably is. And more likely than not, I think this is Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to make headlines again. The same way that she freaked out about not getting the Biden impeachment documents through. The same way that she wears that awful white dress and then yells in the middle of the State of the Union. Like, she's just an attention whore. And I just think everyone should be past this already. But people aren't. Like, I watch Daily Wire stuff just gets force-fed to me on YouTube. And literally every single bit of it is, can you believe how bad these trannies are? These people are crazy. Can you believe this? Can you believe that? And for Daily Wire specifically, it's because they don't actually want anything to change. They're part of the system. They just want to continue to post clickbait and farm money off of it. They're not actually trying to change anything. But anyone who is concerned about these things going on shouldn't just be yelling about all the discrepancies. The left are the real racists. The Hunter Biden is doing as much crime as they say Trump's doing. It's like, yeah. And because of that, we need an entirely new system. we need to wipe out the government and replace it with a better government. Because anything short of that is not going to get the job done. We need a changing of the guard, a peaceful and democratic changing of the guard, and I think that's possible. But in order for that to be possible, we need to stop. We need to focus on what we're supposed to be actually focused on. You know, we need to be focused on the correct things and not just these non-issues. Wife says she divorced her husband and hooked up with Alex Stein. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is disgusting, and I guarantee we'll get into that a bit more, but she is ugly, she is dumb, she is an attention whore, and the only thing that she manages to do is gain herself more screen time. What has she actually done? What has she done in Congress? Has she done anything besides facilitate the deep state into more positions of power with McCarthy? McCarthy wouldn't even let her get the impeachment through. What about the debt ceiling? She had to go in mea culpa, her debt ceiling bill or whatever, because it was awful, and that was her price. She said that literally. This was my price. So she's out there whoring herself out to McCarthy, doing nothing, being ugly and fat and looking like an Easter Island statue. And then she's out, while she's doing all that, completely spinning her wheels trying to get famous via the U.S. government, she's cheating on her husband, getting divorced, and being a terrible human being. So I don't care for her at all, if you couldn't tell. I think most people probably feel similarly if they're actually concerned about the state of our government. She's just another pawn in the pie. Another wheel in the shed, if you will. Another tool in the crayon box. Yeah. You have highlights in your hair. You dumb bitch. You've got highlights in your hair. All right, let's get into it. I apologize, first off, but I am not a member of Congress. I want to put that out here, too. I'm going to be showing this to you. If you don't want to see almost naked Hunter Biden and prostitutes, then you need to just go about your business. Much to my chagrin, I will be showing this to you, but here's the thing. I'm on YouTube. I'm not in Congress. These are much different scenarios. And I'm also not trying to shock people into into paying attention to me. I'm just doing a show with my opinion. So, that being said, let's hop right into it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Y'all dealing with a different kind of animal here.
What you guys drinking today? Hope you guys are all having a great day. It is hot here. Whew. It's hot as Hunter Biden's crack pipe up here. It's hot as a bat in Hunter Biden's ass cave. I'll have to workshop that one a little bit. All right, check this out. This is from Huffington Post, the #1. This is where I go for all my news. Huffington Post. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, first of all, bitch, spell your name right. What is this? Marjorie? Taylor is the only normal part here. And Greene? Bitch, put that extra E away. It's not even how you spell a name. Shows photos of naked Hunter Biden at IRS whistleblower hearing. Greene made a mockery of what was supposed to be a sober examination of political favoritism in the Justice Department. Okay, first of all, this doesn't even happen. Sober examination of political favoritism? It's not the 1950s. When did that even happen last? We all know this is just a clown world circus event. Our whole government is just a giant click farm. Gary Shapley on the left, supervisor, special agent at the IRS, and Joe Ziegler were sworn in to testify before the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability during a hearing regarding the criminal investigation into the Bidens. July 19th, that is today. A pair of career IRS agents told the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday that the Justice Department stifled their investigation into tax crimes by the son of President Joe Biden and pursued weaker charges than they had recommended. But some Republicans did not want to delve into the whistleblower allegations, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boo, who used her question time during the hearing to display what appeared to be, it does appear to be that way, naked pictures of Hunter Biden obtained from his laptop. What's even more troubling to me is that the Department of Justice has brought no charges against Hunter Biden that will vindicate the rights of these women. We're worried about the women's rights now. Greene said, holding up pictures that appeared to show the president's son making sex tapes with women who Greene claimed were sex workers. All right. So let's get into it, yeah? How's that look for you guys?
For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we begin, I would like to let the committee and everyone watching at home that parental discretion is advised. I would also like to remind everyone that on our Oversight Committee, we provide oversight into all parts of the federal government, including their Department of Justice and their willingness to prosecute and their unwillingness to prosecute, and whether it's politically motivated. I would also like to say that when evidence and proof of a crime is presented, no prosecution should be denied, no matter who the person is. To the whistleblowers today, I thank both of you for your courage to come to the committee today and your commitment to truth. I have great respect for it, so thank you. I would like to talk with you both about Hunter Biden and his tax write-offs with his law firm, Owasco.
Sorry.
I would like to ask
like
Mr. Ziegler, when did you start your investigation? In your testimony, it was November 2018. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. During your testimony with the House Ways and Means Committee, you stated that through bank records, you identified Hunter Biden was paying prostitutes related to a potential prostitution ring. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, that's correct.
I've also reviewed those same bank reports, commonly referred to as SARS, Suspicious Activity Reports, and I'm very troubled by them. We read thousands of them in the Treasury. This particular excerpt from a SARS report talks about human trafficking and in regards to Hunter Biden and Owasco and payments he was making. What's even more troubling to me is that the Department of Justice has brought no charges against Hunter Biden that will vindicate the rights of these women who are clearly victims under the law. I would like to talk about, in your prior testimony, you stated that the prosecutorial team was investigating violations of the Mann Act. Is that correct, Mr. Ziegler?
That is correct.
Okay, how long is this? I'm bored. Are you guys bored? Carl Camera, you're a joke. Thanks, dude. Got a Marjorie Taylor Greene fan in the chat. Okay, here we go. Get into the good stuff.
Law regarding Mann Act, and I believe that that is correct, but I would refer you to the DOJ manual.
Thank you. I would like to present this to the committee. This is showing Hunter Biden paying for a victim's United flight from LA to Dulles. This was I believe this is a violation of the Mann Act. This is Hunter Biden's, this is his proof that he bought the ticket. He bought it for this woman right here. He flew her from Los Angeles to Washington on June 14th, flew her back to Los Angeles, California on June 15th of 2018. And I would like to point out that if he was purchasing her a plane ticket for sex and traveling across state lines, do you believe that to be a violation of the Mann Act, Mr. Ziegler?
So I can talk to specifically what's in my transcript regarding the Mann Act. So I know we were compiling the information together.
Yes, but Mr. Ziegler, as the law states, by the code of the law, it states traveling, paying someone to go across state lines is prostitution. It's a violation of the Mann Act. Let me just move on just one more second here. So when Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C. on June 15th. This is a violation of the Mann.
Okay, do you guys think, one in chat, if they made this black box longer to make Hunter Biden look cooler? 2 in chat if you think that's actually the size of his peen. There's no way of telling because it's just a black box, but how funny would it be if they decide to just make it longer on purpose?
Act. This was prostitution. Let me continue. Did Hunter Biden also use his company, Owasco PC, to pay prostitutes?
Can you hold on 1 second?
C-SPAN is
Chairman.
so boring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give you this additional time back. That was
1 second. he's like, if we don't have anything here.
So regarding Mann Act violations, what we can do is, given by the statute, we can turn those over to the House Ways and Means Committee, and then we can they can decide to vote to turn them over to you regarding Mann Act.
Thank you, Mr. Ziegler. So talking about Hunter Biden using his company, Owasco PC, to pay prostitutes, this is also a suspicious activity report showing that victim one, the woman that was paid for prostitution, that traveled from California to Washington, D.C., paid for by Hunter Biden. This is an excerpt from a SARS report that we've read in the Treasury, and I think you all have looked at these too, showing that victim one was supposedly an employee of Owasco. But I would like to point out, this is not really what most paralegals do for law firms. And
I think a lot of paralegals probably actually do. I think it's probably more common than you would expect. Also, someone's got to tell me how to make an LLC to buy prostitutes. Is that like that seems crazy. He would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
And it's very serious that Hunter Biden was paying this woman through his law firm and then writing it off as business tax exemptions. Most people write off, their write off things for their taxes through their businesses, like a meal or say office supplies. But can you confirm for me that Hunter Biden had written off payments to prostitutes through his law firm, Owasco?
I appreciate the question given by the statute. I'm limited in my testimony today, and I respectfully would need to turn those records over to the House Ways and Means Committee.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ziegler. One last question. You referred to one of the assistants as West Coast assistant. I believe this is the West Coast assistant. Could you agree with that?
So I can tell you that there were deductions for what we believe to be escorts, and then that $10,000 golf club membership. Yes, that was not a golf club membership. That was for a sex club payment.
Oh.
That was for a sex club payment. Payments such as this from Hunter Biden to prostitutes.
Assistant.
Also, Mr. Shapley.
Come on. Mr. Chairman, we're 1 minute and 53 seconds over. As long as Ms. Ocasio-Cortez can get equal time, she can keep going.
I will let Ms. Greene wrap up 5 seconds, and then I'll give Mr. Mafume additional time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shapley, you started an investigation into Hunter Biden, codenamed Sportsman, which opened in November of 2018. It was an offshoot of an investigation the IRS was conducting into a foreign-based amateur online pornography platform. This is evidence of Hunter Biden making sex. Excuse me, this is my time. Making pornography.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman, in the committee?
The lady's time's expired and went 2.5 minutes over. If Mr. Mafume wants the 2.5 minutes, he can have it. If he wants to yield some to Ms. Ocasio-Cortez when she goes, she can have it. We'll make it right. 2.5 minutes. You all have an extra 2.5 minutes. Chair recognizes Mr. Mafume for 5 minutes.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
My understanding is that this committee was provided the suspicious activity reports on the condition that it not publicize them, for the reason that they are not actually even allegations, much less evidence of anything. And my colleague from Georgia has now just revealed it publicly.
That is a good point. However, that suspicious activity report has been public for years. That suspicious activity report was on the internet long before I became chairman of this committee. So that particular suspicious activity report has already been publicized.
Thank you for that clarification. She had said it was part of the thousands.
Was that it? Bro, is this what everyone's complaining about? Is that what everyone was complaining about? So I'm just fixing the music. Okay, that wasn't nearly as cool as I thought it would be. So Marjorie Taylor Greene goes up there. She says, like, she did ask questions. Like, I read some articles saying, like, basically she didn't ask any questions. She used her time just to show, like, Hunter Biden porn. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's the breakdown here. Could she have done that without showing those pictures? 100%. Every normal person would. Can you make your same point? Can you still provide evidence? Can you still ask your pertinent questions without showing pictures of Hunter Biden actually banging a prostitute? Of course you can. She didn't even talk to the pictures, really. The pictures were just on there illustratively. So I can't see this as anything besides a play at just making headlines. And if that's the case, then what motives could she have for making headlines? Well, there's one motive that's selfish, obviously, which she could be trying to get her own name in the news. She could be trying to continue her brand awareness, as it were. And then there's another one, if you want to have a more charitable interpretation of what she's doing here, then you could say, okay, well, she wants to bring more attention to the Hunter Biden scandal. She wants to get more public opinion on her side by showing these shocking images. And this doesn't exist in a vacuum. I think we need to take into account Marjorie Taylor Greene and her other types of behavior. She is constantly doing things that are shocking for the sake of being shocking. Everyone knows that Hunter Biden is smoking crack and banging prostitutes. And this is Congress. This is supposed to be a hearing to illuminate information, to have your questions answered in a very diplomatic and what's the word? I want to say decorum. Like, Congress has a lot of decorum. I don't know what the word, like, what is the adjective for decorum? Anyways, this is a place of procedure. This is a place of law, of high standing. And she's out here showing barely censored images from Hunter Biden's laptop when everyone full well knows that this is what's going on. And it would be different if the pictures that she was showing were evidence in and of themselves. But I think it's pretty obvious to see that she's trying to drum up a media reaction from this. And if this was the only case, if it was very pointed, if it was calculated, then I understand that to an extent. I still don't think this is the time or place to do it. I think there's other avenues for a type of shocking media play. But I can't see another reason besides her just wanting to get her name out there and get another 15 seconds of shine. She didn't even talk about the pictures. She was just showing the pictures. It'd be like me going up like to give a school speech Or, I'm giving a graduation speech. I'm valedictorian in my class. I go up and I start talking a normal speech about how, like, you need to achieve your highest dreams. And it's just, like, Photoshop pictures of me banging prostitutes. And I have a whole slideshow that's just, like, naked chicks and me in a bath of gold. It's like, okay, well, it kind of correlates, but not 100%. Maybe that's not the best allegory. I genuinely thought she would be out here talking about the specifics of the photos. I'm kind of shocked that it was as transparent as it is. I was hoping to have a deeper take here. I think the main takeaway here is you're going to see a lot of people who are covering this on the surface level. And that beginning level is, should Marjorie Taylor Greene be showing these pictures or not? Right? And then you're going to have liberals saying, I don't know how they defend Hunter Biden. I think they just kind of ignore it for the most part. And then you have right-wing conservative people saying, oh, I can't believe it. Look at what Hunter Biden's doing. So that's on the Hunter Biden aspect. On the Marjorie Taylor Greene aspect, you're going to see either one from the liberals, this bitch should not be in Congress. We need to kick her out because this is a violation of decorum. And on the right, you're going to say, I don't want people to be to show porn to our kids in politics. That's probably what the conversation is going to be looking like. I think they're all wrong because this entire story is retarded. This is a Down syndrome story because none of this matter. What does this matter? If the premise here is that our country is corrupt, right? That's a charitable premise because actually it's even shallower than that, just talking about one family and their corruption. The impeachability of a president is non-existent these days. It's like everyone knows the darkness that's going on. Everyone knows that presidents are corrupt. This is why I don't care about Trump having these documents. It's like you're going to try and indict Trump over a legal procedure. You're going to try and indict Trump about improperly filing documents because at one point he could have declassified those documents. He didn't, from what it seems like. But it's like, well, he could have, and like it's just a technicality. He just didn't do something in the right order. These crimes are more egregious. I don't think I think Hunter Biden should go to jail. I think Joe Biden should go to jail. I think that 99% of people in charge of our country should be in jail. They're all doing things like this. This is how the game is played. This is the structure of the game. And so if that's the case, if our, say that whole Hunter Biden thing is a starting point to tackle the corruption of our government, even though Marjorie Taylor Greene literally said that I told Kevin McCarthy my price is giving up my morals on this one position in order for something that I want to go through. Like, we know that's going on. Congress is just a bunch of whores. It's funny that they're talking about Hunter Biden banging whores. Congressmen and women are whores in both literal and figurative terms. More often figurative than not. They take deals, they take bribes, they completely screw over the country and the people who voted for them to represent the constituents. So, it's laughable on that face when they start talking about the ills of prostitution and that you shouldn't be forming this LLC in order to buy prostitutes. And they're like golf club membership and stuff. It's like, okay, what are PACs? What are super PACs? Like, in order to get funding for campaigns, these politicians all skirt the law. That was the same reason why the Trump tax investigation was so goofy too. It's like, bro, all of you are constantly finding loopholes in the law The only difference is that you don't like Trump, so you're pointing out his loopholes. It's just so dirty and disgusting. And everyone knows it if you think about it. But I don't know why people still get caught up in this dumb basement level stuff. I guarantee if you had God vision, if you had no clip mode and you looked at all of the congressmen and women, if you looked at all of our presidents, every single one of them would be just a dirt bag. You wouldn't want anything to do with them. And there are bigger issues. This is kind of the practical point here, is that one, the hypocrisy, which we just covered. Two, the vapidness of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she's just doing this for more attention, more fame, more voting power. And then three is like, what is this? We went over Mike Pence the other day, and his big thing with the not my concern was that if you think that we can't do both the Ukraine war and make our country better, then you're small-minded and you're dumb. Well, the truth of the matter is you can only do so much. And so any effort, they spent an entire day talking about Hunter Biden's IRS and like how he improperly bought prostitutes. Like, I want, what if he just brought them correctly? Because they're trying to catch him on legalities here. But like, what if he was out doing this stuff, but he was doing it completely legal? Like he was ordering them from like Holland or something. I don't know how you do prostitutes legally. There's probably something in Las Vegas you could do. But none of this matters. None of it matters because let's say, even at the logical conclusion that Hunter Biden gets the book thrown at him. He's in jail for life. What does that change? It's Joe Biden's son. And yeah, Joe is implicated, but like, at the end of the day, do you think he's really going to take a fall for this? You know what kind of evidence there would need to be for Joe Biden to have to take a fall for any of this? Any reasonable person already knows that he's guilty. And they're just going to drag it out. Like, he's 87 years old or something. He's literally fell asleep in an interview 2 days ago. All this is to say, like, even if this was fully prosecuted, it doesn't change anything. Anyone who looks at the Hunter Biden situation is like, we need to get this guy, is just not getting the whole picture. That won't do anything. There's nothing short of a draining of the swamp that will put us back on the right track in this country. Literally nothing. And so anyone who's not talking about that is missing the point fundamentally. Because what have we seen over the past decade or two? We've seen the government continue to do things against the public's interest, going as far to even make false flags, get into a 20-year Afghanistan war that nobody wanted to be in. And that's just the surface of it. Like, there was way more. Meanwhile, all these politicians are getting richer and richer, and nothing is changing demonstrably for our favor. Particularly after COVID. Like, inflation's crazy. Eggs are coming down a little bit, but they're still crazy expensive. It's funny how prices on essentials drop the closer you get to election day for a presidential campaign. It's almost as if they have control over commodities through the subsidies that they grant. It's almost like they can tap into additional oil in order to drive down gas prices when they're facing a re-election. It's just a giant facade. It's a giant game. And so anyone who's taking these things seriously on any level, whether it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, whether it's Hunter Biden, whether it's Joe Biden, anything short of system reform is not enough. And that's scary. Because if you accept that premise, then we are due for either a civil war or a collapse or some sort of coup. And I don't want any of those things to happen, because when those things happen, people die. And I don't want people to die. The goal here, in my mind at least, is how do we reorient our country? How do we put it back on track with the least amount of human pain and suffering? That's the point where I'm at. And this is why I'm not an accelerationist, because first of all, accelerationism is nihilistic at its core. It's accepting defeat before you've actually been defeated. And while some people may say that that's prudent, I think more than prudent, I think it's a cope to not do anything. It's a cope because you feel like something is something is out of your grasp. It's out of your power. You feel impotent to change anything. And I think that is a weak mindset to be in. So this is why I don't like accelerationism. Is it a long shot? Like, I mean, like if you're being like, if you're playing game theory and you're betting on it, like, what would I assume will happen to our government? Well, most governments collapse at some point. They collapse. People start starving. Mass unrest is propagating throughout the people, and then people get so upset because their friends and family are starving and dying that they force change. So this is what's most likely to happen, because that's what happens throughout history. But there's also other alternatives. There's other rises to power. There's other conditions where things can be turned around before a societal collapse. And if that's even a 1% chance, I think that's worth fighting for. I think it's your duty to fight for that morally, because if that long shot does come through, then you have saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives. Because when societies collapse, particularly ones as big as the United States, the cost of human life is absolutely astronomical. I mean, look at the Holodomor. It's like 60 million or something. I don't even know the numbers. It was something crazy. But like more than one is too many. Like, people die. I understand that. But I don't want to be gay about it, saying that, like, no, we can't have anyone die, because, like, people die. This is how the world works. But the goal should still be to not have people die. The goal should still be to, as much as possible, to keep humans living morally, living for God, and living at all. So, I've gone down a rabbit trail a little bit of implications when it comes to this, but the main point here is that people really need to stop paying attention to all the flashing lights that are put in front of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene showing Hunter Biden's penis. It's like, oh, whoa, what? Like, double take? Like, no way, no possible way. I can't believe she did that in Congress. Congress is sacred. It's like Congress is a place where rat people go to do under-the-table rat deals and fuck you over. Like, Congress isn't sacred. Congress is a viper pit. My surface level thoughts at the beginning were like, oh, you shouldn't show porn in Congress, but the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, these people, like, they're the ones who are making porn legal. They're the ones who are keeping this stuff legal. And behind closed doors, they're doing this stuff themselves. They're hypocrites for even calling Hunter Biden out on these things. What people really need to realize is that this is the norm. This is not an extenuating circumstance. This is how people in power operate. And they hate you. They hate you enough that they're going to let this continue to run off the rails while they get rich and fat until your friends and family start dying. And this isn't a call to action or anything. This is just the reality. If you look at any historical event, this is the cycle of things. But what also is the cycle of things is redemption and a phoenix rising out of the ashes. It's a new system, a moral system, a return to the natural order, a return to God, comes out of the darkest. You know, it's always darkest before dawn, the saying, right? And that's true in all things. Particularly it's true in society, in governmental systems. And so things necessarily need to get bad in order for change to happen. But how bad is up for debate. It's not like we need to reach a certain level of pain and suffering before things change. And how things change doesn't need to be violent. It can be a grassroots movement of people with morals rising up and taking the reins of power. And so, and honestly, take a step back a little bit and look at this with me. We're going to switch to the white pill. So take a step back for a second. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because we talk about it a lot. But just what is the critical mass of people telling the truth in this country, calling it as they seeing it, being Christian, you know, whatever you want. What's the critical mass to change fundamentally how America runs? Well, we have amplification tools, and you see that being used for evil right now. But look at what a conversation Ye started. That's one powerful man saying things that he believes and changing the conversation across the world, particularly in the United States. That's just one guy. How many people would it take to actually push policy reform? Most of the country, most people in general, are midwits. They're not that smart, and they're easily influenced. This is why media control is such a problem, because these people are just brainwashed. Well, with the proper access to these people's minds via a Twitter timeline, you can see what happened with Trump. Trump is just one man as well, and he became the president by memeing his way into the White House, saying the right things and talking directly to the people. This is why they had to shut it down. But for everything that they shut down, for every door they close, a window opens too. There's always alternate paths. There's always chinks in the system's armor. How many people does it take to make a difference? Well, demonstrably, one person is all it takes. So imagine 10. Imagine 20. Imagine 50. Imagine 100. Imagine your city. Imagine you go and change some laws in your city, change some rules, you guys start prospering, and then that whole city goes and promotes what you've done in that city to change things, to bring up their way of living. It's not as daunting as everyone wants to make it out to be. Like, people get so nihilistic because materialism and nihilism are hammered into our head day in and day out. Everyone's dying from COVID. You can't do anything. The world's problems are unsolvable. Things are blowing up. Global whatever. It's like, bro, take a step back and look at what happens. Look at the counterexamples, because Trump became president. Ye changed the entire conversation. With literally anyone except for like Nick Fuentes talking about the transportation department before Ye came out and said he was sleepy, said he was going DEFCON. Bro, like, no. That one man changed the entire conversation. And it doesn't even need to just be a powerful billionaire or a global entertainer. These are just people who have an easier access to that level of change. Who's to say that you and 10 of your friends can't go out and change things as well? Who's to say that you can't write a tweet that takes off, or make a video that takes off, or, you know, like, this stuff is all doable. And the only reason that it doesn't happen more often is because people stop themselves from doing it. I truly believe that. How many people do you know like literally everyone has a friend that just talks about big ideas all the time, and you just tune them out because they've never done any of them at all. They've never gone out and actually tried to do anything. Everyone knows that. You're probably thinking about yourself right now. I try and go out and do things, but I think about myself when I say that too. Like, imagine if you took all of the time that you spent doing whatever you feel guilty about, right? Everyone has like a guilty pleasure, something they use to relax. What if you took that time and you did it pushing on something, doing something for the greater good, talking to people, just saying the truth, just going out there and just saying what you think. If everyone was doing that, things would change in a week. Things would change in a year. Things would change so quick you wouldn't even be able to quantify it. Because look how much things have changed for the bad in the past 10 years. Things have gone off the rails, man. And if things can go off the rails this quickly, things can come into godliness this quickly. 100%. 100%. Things change just like that. Our system is thin. Our system is frail. And it's frail in a good way and it's frail in a bad way. Things have the chance to turn on a dime and either plummet people into hell or raise them up to heaven. And so I don't know if I sound crazy for this, but like I literally believe that we could have like a Christian monarchy by the end of the year. That's a world that exists. That is completely within possibility. It just takes the right circumstances. It just takes some providence, and it just takes you going out and purposefully spending your day on God's work and on doing what you know is right. And it's not going to feel like you're doing the right stuff. And, you know, I don't want to be too pie in the sky, because I understand that like not everything works out. You know, you could push the alternative is that you could push on something your entire life and it never happens. But you'd be surprised. And there's enough of that thought out there. There's enough people out there saying you can't do something, or this is hopeless, or you shouldn't worry about that. You should just live your life. You should just do this. You should just do that because it's prudent, because it's whatever. It's like, fuck, no, I'm done doing that because I believe in something greater. I believe that there's a God. I believe that he wants us to be godly and that he will empower someone who's truly going out and speaking the truth and advocating for him and trying to make a change, trying to make people and the world more godly. So, I mean, that's just what I believe. And I think if more people believe that, I think we'd have a lot more momentum behind us for sure. People just need to be willing to step outside a little bit and speak the truth, you know? Anyways, I know we talk about this a good amount, but it's just so real. If everyone can really internalize this and could really just spend an hour a day, that's just it, an hour of a day going out and working on something or speaking the truth or doing something, you know how quick things would change? It's like, you know, it's always the thing. It's like, if everyone who's reading this tweet right now gave me $1, or it's always that kind of thing. And everyone's like, oh, that's so played out. That's so goofy. But really, imagine if everyone who watched whatever gave you $1, or everyone who did this, chipped in $1. It's like, it's so true. So any little change in the hearts of man will have rippling consequences. Everything's amplification. It's all a game. A game with consequences, but a game nonetheless. Has the chance to flip, you know? So. Anyways. If we can get this mindset, if we can get this hope, if we can get this and it's really, you don't even need to sacrifice yourself, really. Like, there's people who will, but you really don't need to. You just need to go out and like be a real human. So It's like, why not? Go do it. So, anyways, that's it. Went down a whole tangent, but just like, don't pay attention to this garbage. Whoa, did Marjorie Taylor Greene put Hunter Biden's penis in a picture? It's like, I don't care. She cheated on her husband and is getting a divorce. Like, I don't care what she has to say at all. She's lost she's lost the ability to be in Congress as far as I'm concerned. If you're out there getting a divorce because you cheated on your husband, you shouldn't be able to be in Congress. I can't even believe that we're in a country that allows that. It's like, you've proven yourself to be an immoral person. You're going to try and run our country when you can't even run your own marriage? It's like, later. See you, bitch. And we need to hold people to higher standards is what really needs to happen. It's not Hunter Biden. It's everyone in politics. It's everyone in Congress. And until that becomes your mindset, nothing's going to change because they just keep putting these flashcards in front of you. It's like flashcards. And the test is like, are you Republican or Democrat? And they show you like Hunter Biden's penis. And you're like, Republican. I don't want Hunter Biden's penis. And they're like, okay, good. And they show you COVID. And you're like, I don't want a vaccine. They're like, good. Republican. And then like they have unlimited flashcards and they just keep fucking shoving them in your face. And if that keeps happening, then you don't have time to go and like build a statue. You don't have time to go and build something that actually means anything or even apply what you believe. So it's all a game. It's all a trick. Don't pay attention to it. It's fun to talk about, but you know, at the end of the day, you have to think of it in terms of, okay, what does this actually do? What does this actually change? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is nothing. And if that's the case, discard it and start working on something that's true. Start working on something that's real. Start working on promoting alternatives, being a good person, going to church, raising your kids, you know, whatever. Like, reprioritize a little bit. Thanks, JLP. I hope you're doing good. I think I'm going to see you tomorrow. I've been meaning to text you and check in, but I figured no text is good news. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to call it a day. Tomorrow we got Thursday. There's no game seller tomorrow. I'm pretty excited, though. I think next week we're going to have a game seller, and I think next week also parallel launches. So there should be a lot of content coming about that. That's on Game Seller, and it's a whole nother thing, but it should be good. It should be less divisive and more grand old good times. More root beer floats. All right, guys. Catch you then. In the meantime, I'm going to keep spewing positivity into the void, because one day someone's gonna pick up what I'm throwing down, and it's gonna take off. But until then, see you guys later.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.